Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the round of 64 matchup in the Hyrule bracket of the 2025 Winter Tournament. It's a matchup between CrimsonAvix and PedanticPotato. These two are very closely seeded at 32 and 33. It is as close as it gets in one of these, and we should see a fairly close matchup because of that. We're going to get underway here, but joining me in the booth is Spear and Magic Helmet.
Hey everybody, nice to join you, Fury. So we're starting out in the Lost Woods. Not too much going on so far. We've got gorillas in the overworld, so they won't be in the dungeons. First cave is a gambling casino, which I guess could become valuable later on if this is a poverty seed and they want to save scum. Arrows are 84 rupees. Meat is 71 for what it's worth.
It looks like another seed where the magic boomerang is also on the coast.
You hate to see it. By the time you get the ladder to get it, you probably won't need it.
Yeah, the good news, bad news there. I mean, you're not going to have to wait a while to get to it.
Yeah, we're seeing Lionels on the coast too, which means they won't be in dungeons, so I'm guessing that we'll have Dark Nuts and Wizrobes in the dungeons. Oh, that was an Armos item. I missed what it was though.
It looks to be vanilla, just in a different location this time.
It was the power bracelet. Oh yeah, vanilla. That's not too bad to get early on. They can integrate it with their routing. They don't have to go back all over the overworld later on. PedanticPotato finds one early on. Crim's going to find that really soon.
Yep, it looks to be one of those starts where I would say most of the runners are going to have a very similar kind of pathing. I mean, you want to go into Armos checks, and then you have open caves up here that you might be able to find the sword in, so I might as well go this direction.
Blue Wizrobes right off the bat in one. That's going to be challenging combat for early in the match. Pedantic finding money and passing it up. I guess he's going to save it until after he sparks off some door repairs. It's not a strategy I see very often. $247 for the blue ring today. Unless we get some pretty good secrets, then we're probably not going to see a blue ring purchase from runners of this caliber. Crimson doing a cheeky HUD clip to get up to Vanilla Letter Cave while Pedantic gets his own letter. And Crimson finds the wooden sword early on, so that's pretty handy for him, not even 3 minutes in.
Yeah, I think both runners eventually get there. It seems like the route's going to kind of force you that direction overall. Pedantic may have a little bit of a detour because of where they're currently at, but again, I think you get back there.
We've seen two of the secret sizes now. Small secret is the minimal 1 rupee, and the medium secret is 38, which is a little better. PedanticPotato finds his first take any and grabs a heart. So he's got a 1 in 3 shot of getting the white sword at him if he comes across it.
And the large,
very small large secret.
Yeah, large unfortunately is 70, so that's going to be a bit brutal, but it is first quest overworld in terms of the money setup, so you're not dealing with just one large and a handful of mediums and a bunch of smalls. You kind of have a decent chunk of large secrets, 3 of them to be exact, so you can still get up there money, but the blue ring may certainly be out of reach at this point.
I would imagine it is. Crim took a death into some red Lionels, so he's back at start. He's got his wooden sword. It looks like he might be trying to farm for some bombs here. That's what I would be doing. He gets some, so he's going to be able to do a little more exploration with those. Pedantic running around with just the letter right now, so he's a little bit behind at this point. Nothing too serious, but he doesn't have any bombs. or wood sword like Krim does, and Krim takes another death. For those of you that are new to Zelda Randomizer and are wondering why everybody's saying "Tell me a bedtime story" instead of their normal text, that is because one of the flags in the seed gives the book the ability to be a translator. If they do find the book, then they will be saying their normal things. For the most part, that's not a big deal, but it will be helpful for dungeon secrets when they find an old man, and also for the secret shops. Pedantic Potato gets his wooden sword, so he's in business. Crimson exploring the Take Any Roads. Picking up some rupees along the way. Seems to be farming for them, actually. Krim takes yet another death, walks directly into a lever.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Just based on where Krim was in the overworld, it's a long way from start. I think Pedantic's going to keep farming for bombs for a little while. Krim does have that luck, at least with the bomb pack in inventory, to be able to go through some of those bomb spot checks. South Coast, for example, could be bombed open at this point. If you find a second pack, you could even make an argument for the northwest bit. Just Death Mountain clearing instead of kind of going through kind of the overworld where there are burned bushes, because that makes that a little bit unfortunate to reroute back in.
Is Pedantic Potato hoping to fight this Room of Wizrobes? He's already been in there.
I don't know if that's his intent, or was maybe just getting ready to bomb through some other places. So I don't.
He doesn't have a bomb now.
Yeah,
Crimson taking another death. This is very unusual.
They're probably just going to take a couple of seconds now and think about whether or not they want to go that direction, or if they want to maybe reroute. But I don't blame them for at least pausing after getting a little frustrated.
Take a deep breath.
It's the argument I make that the game is almost equally mental as it is a game of skill. You have to have a baseline skill to be able to play this game at a competitive level, but there are times where even the best runners start to tilt and then you start making bad decisions. So I'm definitely of the opinion that you should take a small amount of time if you feel the tilt coming on and try to forego that, because all it does is it slows you down even more by virtue of trying to get you to speed up.
And the pressure is on for these runners. This is one lost elimination right now.
The bomb prices are up to 29 rupees, so not obtainable. Pedantic doesn't have any, so definitely not yet.
He's been passing up on taking these secrets, so he's not going to have any money for a little while if he keeps that up. Keys are at 107. Neither of them have a key yet, so if they have to buy one later on, it's going to be a little expensive, especially with it low seed money-wise.
Yeah, Vine's 24 for the door repair via Krim. And Pedantic is now going to get a medium secret. May go back to the bomb shop given the bomb luck so far, or may just start collecting a little bit of it, as I think they've hit at least 2, maybe 3 door repairs. So, you now at least avoided some of that as we hit this one. So, you avoided a lot of them, but not all of them.
Looks like Krim just tried to do a force bomb but didn't make it.
It's possible.
He put a bomb down to kill 2 gorillas. I imagine that he was trying to force a bomb with that.
If they're blue, then that's probably what he was doing. If they're red, may have just been hoping for a little bit of luck on top of it and didn't get anything.
Oh, they were red.
Looks like
Crimson
both runners
headed towards the death armor almost, but he takes yet another death.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I was going to say Pedantic is kind of going the same direction and equally getting beat up. Has one more heart container, but only has 1 of those 5 filled. And I'm not sure that's enough to get up to, like, Death Armos area. I think we might have to choose a different direction. the other option, Fairy Fountain to the left.
Never hurts. It's a little bit of time.
You know, this is part of that just kind of calming down and taking the seed as it basically shows you what to do. It says, hey, this overworld's no joke when it comes to the projectiles. Here are a couple of fairy fountains on the overworld. Here's a couple of take anyone hearts. Go ahead and make sure you get yourself healed up properly before going onwards. And that's going to work out for Pedantic. They're going to be able to get up to check these two screens. It turns out in the end that these two screens were not particularly valuable. I would say they're not going to be something that you're hurting for missing, but definitely going to have to go back and check or route in, which is never fun.
Pedantic found a hint shot from one cave below the death, one screen below the death at Armos. That might come into play a little bit later on.
Perhaps, but it also could have been much worse for Crim. Could have been like a major item just sitting there for free or something.
Right. Potato finds 5.
Yep. Pedantic is having a bit better time of it with the health and survival, but I still see a whole bunch of zeros, and that's even with a medium secret come and gone. No keys, no bombs, no rupees, no progress in 5.
Nope.
Alright, the screen's going to be painful because the boulders are going to respawn here shortly, but we're going to make it into this cave and tie it up on heart containers for the moment, as level 3 is in the southwest corner of the overworld, in the dead end of the Dead Woods.
Pedantic's got a little bit of an edge in exploration right now. He's found 3 dungeons, and I think Crimson's only found 1.
Yep, so far though, that advantage is not amounting to too much. Again, just no way to progress so far. This is the first dungeon where we've had some doors. One of them is a key door, but the other one that goes to the right is open and available. I think we're just hoping for an early map, because a lot of these early dungeons have maps in the first couple of rooms.
Gets the flute instead, or the recorder, I should say. That'll help with some exploration. Maybe help him with a dig dagger if he comes across one. Easy enemy set in 3 so far.
Yep, they did roll up, so that's a little bit annoying, but the keys do give a map, which tells us we can get around the key door initially, if we're willing to kill some Gibdo.
Gibdos aren't too hard, but they're very tanky. So this will be time consuming. Along with the Lakes, this is a pretty slow dungeon for the Wood Sword.
It is 6 hits to kill the Gibdo, so I do believe that's a little bit south of their normal valuation, and a key on the floor to boot, so that room really helped out. I think that's the first key and first bomb pack of the game for Pedantic Potato. Crim, meanwhile, does get the same information that you alluded to earlier, gets the information from Death Armos, and gets the information about the hints being in that cave that he's just walking by now, so...
Pedantic Potato dipping out, trying some bomb spots, and continuing on with exploration. I don't disagree with that choice.
Yep, and we're going to check the flute spot immediately to find level 6, so that flute is potentially required. Again, we don't know the Triforce requirement for 9, nor whether or not there's a major item in here. What there is in here is Wizrobes.
Yeah, orange ones aren't too bad, and this isn't too bad of a room to find them in. Maybe we'll get some bombs out of this.
Yep. Crim is now keeping himself a lot healthier on the progression over the overworld. Finds the 5 that we couldn't do much in earlier. We'll get the map and know that they can bomb up. We'll see if Crim decides to continue digging and whether or not it profits early or not. A dig dagger blocking a shuttle. Yeah, it's not an item staircase per se, but it could be a floor drop in specific dungeons, and can also get you to the east.
Nice kill. Grim taking advantage of a clock and slaying these Gibdos. Still slow to kill, no matter what.
Yep, but if it ends up with a major item, then we're happy. And yeah, that's a major
It's
item,
the
I'd say.
ladder. That's pretty major.
How you get that magic boomerang? Probably not. Any key in 6, that's also a major item in some ways. It's going to prevent any more key blocks in dungeons. However, that can also lead you astray sometimes. Oh, I didn't even realize the dark nuts were in this set too. That's rough.
Yep. We're gonna have all the tough enemies in one set, and the other, and squishy enemies in the other.
So the Triforce is now seen in 5 via the compass. Can we get there with the resources we have, which is not much? I think Crim's probably going to just farm this room and hope to get a bomb drop eventually. It's 6 hits to kill them, so it's slightly lower than normal, but it's still going to be a couple of... It's going to be about 30 seconds each clear. The clock on 3 means we need to
Oh, he went up
probably...
an A.
Yeah, well, we're going to up an A. I'm surprised he didn't go back there because he was set up for a 6 and 8 count. The clock is on a 3, the bombs are on 6, 8, and 1, unless you're 10 counting, so would have been able to cycle through at least 2 potential 40% drop chances. And Pedantic, meanwhile, has keys being found in the dungeon, but we don't need that anymore because we have that mini key. Kind of how it works.
Crimson going into 3. Chad had mentioned there was a ladder block in there that I hadn't noticed. He'll be able to navigate that with his ladder, where Pedantic was sent away. Crimson still has not gotten a key this entire seed so far, so the any key Pedantic Potato has is going to be useful for him. Even if it leads him a little astray, he won't have to worry so much about clearing out rooms.
There is the flute. And Crim is going to have the same information. May not get the luck with the bomb drop in the next room with the Gibdo, but we'll at least get a key to be able to progress a little further in this 3 and see the ladder block and cross it because they have a ladder. I saw a death on the right side in the meantime, so I'm assuming that's enough for now from Pedantic Potato, which, you know, until you have the Triforce requirement for 9, I think an item out of 6 is probably good enough, and you can just leave.
Right. He was fighting a little bit recklessly, too, against the bats. He might have been feeling a little frustrated about how tanky everything was.
Yeah, well, the frustration will go a little bit out the door if Dante clears this Gibdo room. So I don't think at 17 minutes finding the ladder you'd feel behind getting to that. It's on the other side of the overworld from your starting screen, and you know, sub 20 on any major item. You're like, that's okay.
Yeah, Pedantic gets his raft right here, so he's going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was a raft, K-Tap would be happy, but the ladder is going to definitely get us across some bodies of water.
The raft is the only thing blocking anything right now. If the raft isn't required, they've got everything they need to get into dungeons and spots other than dungeons.
Yep, it completes the overworld blocks. I think it just leaves you down to the dungeon blocks, which really down to just Goma and a very hungry Gorilla, potentially.
The meat's 71 if they do get meat blocked. So it's a little bit expensive, but not too bad.
Oh, Crim gets pretty deep into this level 3, unfortunately takes a death. I still don't think Triforces are something that are potentially required to get this early. It's nice to get them out of the way. But I almost feel like as long as you can get a dungeon cleared in this portion of the overworld, it's helpful. And according to Nochi earlier, our tracker, there should be an indie road that takes you this way. I don't have it for Pedantic's tracker. I'm the restreamer in this case, so I can see those things, but I'm assuming Crim found them and got the information that he can get over here pretty easily.
Pedantic Potato just used 4 bombs on a manhandle and died to it without killing it, so he's a little frustrated maybe. He's going over to the fairy fountain to get a refill.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about the bosses, and I'm no different. I hate Gleox, for example, but
Uh-huh.
Manhandle is one of those where sometimes you just get the good luck, and sometimes you get horrible luck with the way that
Hmm.
they move around. Uh, Pedantic's now going to get the Any Roads, which again are the level 7 first quest, one of the flute spots off to the west of that, a the gambling casino game at Vanilla Start, and then all the way up towards the crossroads screen in the northeast. So, three of the four kind of bunched a little bit. I guess the start one's a little bit further away, but overall, you don't get much access to Death Mountain, and you don't get any easier access to like Forest or um, maybe even northeast of one might have been a little bit more help than that coast recorder spot. By coast, I
Crimson
mean the grave.
full clears 3 and is the first one to get a Triforce tonight. He's in 6 right now, so he might be finding an NEP pretty soon. With 4 keys, it's not the perfect time to find it, but it's better than nothing. You don't say no to the NEP.
Yeah, I believe the Any key was maybe past the Dig Dogger, the room to the right. It was somewhere all over in that general area.
Hmm.
Uh, now to the left of Crim, I suppose. Well, I think we got most of the information on shops now. I think we found all of the ones that are potentially useful to us. That one having
Yeah, I
the
would say
arrows, of
so.
course.
We haven't found a candle shop, have we?
Well, so much for that.
Not that it matters.
Commentator's blessing to some degree, I suppose. That red candle showing up right on time.
Not a bad offensive weapon with just the wooden sword going for you, so he's going to start spamming it on these Lionels.
Unfortunately, they're not the blue Lionels, so we don't get to find ourselves a bomb drop by chance. This is the room that I think is right before the Iniki. Crim's got to be careful, because he's right on top of where that dig dogger is, so the minis may come after him. Nope. Now, was it down or right? I remember seeing
I
both
thought it was
directions
right.
achieved.
I thought it was right, which is unfortunate.
Well, I
A little
think we're
bit
still...
cheaper key for Pedantic at 96.
Any key right there, never mind. He literally was standing on it.
Okay. So they both have the any key now, so keys are no longer a factor in this race.
I'm not 100% sure that Crim saw that he grabbed that specific item. Nope, he's got it marked, so he knows. He's just looking for a Triforce, perhaps, out of the 6. And yeah, this 6 is not kind, combat-wise. Pedantic thought maybe that spot would open, but without Triforces, you won't get the tornado, so you just have to leave that screen.
What? What do you mean without Triforces you won't get the tornado? Oh, because
Yep,
you
dude,
haven't.
can't take
You can
can't
only go
take
to
you anymore.
Triforce levels. Yeah.
In this flag set, at least, there is the flag set that takes you to unbeaten dungeons. That'd be the time where it's really useful to have the flute early.
Hmm. Isn't there a flag set that brings you to the vanilla locations as well?
Yes, there is.
At least Gels didn't roll out this seed. Crimson's doing a lot of work to find this Triforce in 6.
Yep, it could pay off. I mean, if you knock this one out, then you only have a handful of dungeons left, potentially, that you would have to get the Triforce. You could item and go some of them.
It's a big dungeon to dig out, though. And the enemy sets aren't particularly easy either, as far as clearing out rooms goes. Pedantic finds a heart container in 4. He could find a second heart container in here, or he could find an item, but it's going to be on the floor, whatever it is.
Looks like we're finding a bunch of keys now that we have the any key in hand, and there is the Triforce, so the dig
Not
pays
bad.
off. I think that's only about 2, maybe 2.5 minutes after the any key pickup, so it's not like it was a huge time sink to get there.
Yeah, turned out to be a good gamble. So Crim is now 2-0 with Triforces over Pedantic Potato.
And you called
Pedantic
it.
Potato finds another heart container in 4, so 4 has the Coast Heart in it. Not exactly what he's looking for, unless he's thinking about getting mags at some point.
Definitely won't hurt, given that the Dark Nut Wizrobe enemy set is prominent, it appears. This is at least the 3rd time I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish I'd been keeping track of that.
It can happen maximum.
Go ahead. Potato passes up a 2-headed Gleeok fight. I don't necessarily disagree with that. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say, it's one of those situations where, with the enemy set we had, you can have 5 as your max count on any one, because there has to be at least 2 of every enemy set with 9 dungeons. That leaves you with a minimum of 5-2-2. But you could also get a couple of different variations. You could get an even distribution, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Potato gets his Triforce out of 4, and is continuing exploration. Finds mags.
Yep, and he's going to have that information lead for a while, because I think it's going to be difficult for Crim to, well, yeah, I was going to say this is going to be difficult to get to this Manhandla. It's a bad
Crim had
room.
a rematch with that Manhandle and dies.
What hurts Crim there is Crim still can't get the bombs to drop. Like, I think he cleared the Gibdo room again trying to get bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have not been kind on the global. Well, on the global. Consecutive has not tried that yet. Could consider
and you can
it.
see him getting impatient as he fights those Gibdos and just kind of takes 3 damage immediately from Gibdos when he could just be a little bit more careful and get through that room.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, if we're taking this slowly, what you can do is, after taking that death, you can kill the Keese room and get to a count of 4, and then maybe re-clear it to get, like, another 1 or 2 more to get to 6, and then you can force your bomb. Now, we didn't have to because of what just happened there, but that would be one way to kind of give yourself a better chance of getting the bombs you need, which, of course, now that we get an extra bomb pack, we get the freebie Manhandle pattern. So what's the Triforce room we have?
Pedantic found 2, which is segmented. Making progress in there. Looks like he's going to dip out for the time being now. Or is he trying to save a bomb with a pirouette? Yep.
Alright. Crim gets that try in 5, up to 3 Triforce pieces. We don't know yet what's required for 9, but good to have those out of the way, as the minimum would be 5.
I think I've got a little commentator's curse going on where nobody finds 9 until almost the very end. Every seed I've done commentary on, it's been the case so far. It's been like the last or second to last dungeon they find.
Pedantic, unfortunately, back in a familiar setup. No bombs at all, and can't get any progression in this dungeon unless these Gibdo decide to play nice. If they don't, then I think he's probably just going to up A and repeat this room until it happens, but they finally give him a bomb drop. So Crim is heading towards where we know the red candle is, has 5 hearts, so we'll be able to pick it up should they survive the overworld to get there.
Crim buys the arrows. Not a terrible choice.
Yeah, there's always a chance that the Goma or the Bull's voice block, well, in this case the Goma specifically would block the progression into dungeons. Other things may take longer.
Pedantic gets the heart container out of 2. Cannot chooses not to try to fight the Gliok, and up and A's back to start.
So we know it's segmented, so probably going to clean this up and go up just to check what's up here. Well, it shutters us in, which is never fun, but it will at least give us a chance to drop some bombs, so it could be worse.
The red candle's helping out a lot too. Crim finds, I believe, his second large secret. I'm very curious how many Triforces are required for this seed. What do you want it to be?
I kind of like seeing a 7. I think that is the kind of opportune number that allows a little bit of gambling. 8, and you kind of have like a full clear situation that can often occur. 5, and there's just so much gambling that it's anybody's race.
Right. 8 would be very brutal with this seed too, with those Wizrope and Darknet dungeons.
Hey.
Oh, the wand. Not a bad item to dig out if you have to. The up and A's, though, does he know where the Triforce is and he's going to get it now?
Because... That is correct.
Okay.
I believe, if I remember correctly, we could even use another bomb to get to it. I thought it was to the, it's the bottom right corner. So down from here.
Alright, so he's got 2 completely cleared. Closing the gap in Triforces a little bit. He's only behind by 1 over Crim now. Although Crim has found some, completed some larger dungeons than Pedantic has.
Yeah, and Crim's going to stumble on at least one of the 2 dungeons that Pedantic just got recently, the other being 4.
You're probably a better tracker than I am with this. What do they still need to search for in the overworld to find the rest of the dungeons? Because we still need 7, 8, and 9.
As far as what they both have, I want to say it's a lot of Candle Row and a lot of Death Mountain, along with the river spots. But there's a couple that one runner has that the other doesn't. I think Pedantic overall has a slight lead. I mean, there's also, I think, some spots in the Dead Woods, again, because we didn't have the candle until we went to the grave, so I don't think we've checked that on either side either. But there is an any road or 2 over there, and Crim can also flute to any of the 3 dungeons in the bottom left, whereas Pedantic has to any road.
Pedantic taking on a fair... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I do think 1 is the correct play for both for now.
Yes. Pedantic will have a nice advantage against these Darknets with the wand, but he still has a pretty challenging fight to do here on the Green Tunic. Crimson takes a death against some of those Wizrobes, which can't blame him for.
Now, Crim has the issue again in the bomb category. I think you have to maybe think about bombing out of here, and we do. So we have a little bit of progression again. I don't think either runner cleared that Wizard room, so I feel like that's probably the map.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
There's
that's
the Triforce.
yeah,
Oh, and he
that's
picks it up.
I mean, Crim's gonna have a rougher time of this because again, it's blue dark nuts and it's a wood sword with no wand.
Yeah,
So
half a heart. It's very brave for even trying this room.
yeah, it's gonna actually save the room, which I think
Mm-hmm.
is again a smart idea. As long as you keep getting back to this room, it makes sense.
I guess you got to slog through this combat at some point to advance the game.
Yeah, your alternatives are not amazing. I mean, Crim again has not seen level 4 and has not seen level 2, so
Mm-hmm.
this is like the best dungeon left available. Whereas I guess you could make the case that Pedantic's best known available dungeon is level 3. I don't know if the enemies were incredibly favorable there either, but you could at least get a Triforce out of there. The problem is you can't get an item as well. So there's a little bit less payday since both runners do have the flute out of 3.
The bow. That's a nice find for PedanticPotato. I imagine
This...
Crimson's going to find that as well.
Well, maybe. I mean, it's going to be difficult for Crim to get through this room still.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that heart does not actually do us any favors in this room. It makes you feel a little bit better that you're not beeping. If Crim goes left here, then it works, but with any key, you're almost inclined to always explore ways that it opens up. I believe this room is terrible. Yeah, it's no fun. Yeah, I've seen worse, but definitely seen better as well. Crim may opt out of that, and that will lead Crim to the location of the bow. So if nothing else, as long as like silvers aren't also in here, that would give him enough information. Now, the Triforce we know is one room past this room of junk.
There's the bow for him. He's got the
And,
arrows, so he can start employing that right away.
yeah, in a bit of a hurry to try and get out of that room or out of the middle and got laddered. The red dark nuts, however, did roll pretty favorably for both runners at 2 health instead of 4.
Thank goodness for small favors.
Red Wizrobes appear to have rolled about normal. Red ring.
Oh, that's worth the dig. That's going to help out a lot with combat.
Yep. Crim would love to have that, but it is going to require digging past the room that he skipped over before.
Yeah, that gives Potato a nice edge right now.
It comes down to what the enemy set is in 9 and whether or not we can get to silvers without a lot of combat.
But when we're looking at pure speed right now, Pedantic's taking quarter damage compared to Crim, and he can do double damage to most enemies with the wand, and he has a ranged weapon.
Yep, the wand's definitely probably the biggest help of the two. Speeds up the run considerably. Until, of course, we see the level 9 as 8 Triforces or something. Ooh. Almost grabbed it. I don't know that we come back if we end up grabbing that. Oh boy.
He might just kill this Aquamentus and Veil, with having already gotten the bow out of this place.
Hey, we got a nice heart to get us back up out of the beeping. However, we don't have the map, so we don't know that the red ring is essentially one room past the Triforce up. again,
So
it.
Krim is gonna
Go ahead.
go ahead. Krim's gonna have some hard times right now because he's dipping out of one without the red ring. So for the rest of the race, possibly, or for a good portion of it, Pedantic's gonna be running around with an extremely strong defensive advantage, and I don't see Krim buying a blue ring either.
Yeah, it's not likely. I would never say never because, again, we got a free candle, so we don't have to pay the candle price. We've
Yep.
got the arrows already in inventory. We don't ever have to buy keys.
But without the wand, Krim could be spamming arrows for combat to speed up his run a little bit.
Yeah, the wand is definitely, again, the bigger almost find between the two, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I
But he's
don't
gonna
like
want
the
to do
spot.
that. He's gonna want to do that double damage to some of the enemies with the arrows just to get through this.
Yeah, this spot's so scary.
Mm-hmm. There he goes.
Yeah. I understand why that was being cleared. I hate that spot.
He's not gonna try it again.
Nope, got beamed to the face, but can go ahead and skip that room for now.
So Crimson hasn't found 2, but other than that, both players have found levels 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
Grabbing that heart container in 4. Gotta have heart. It's gotta be said.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably happy to see that fairy. Crimson gets the Coast Heart. So he's just in here for the Triforce at this point. I imagine once he gets his Triforce, he's going to slow down until he finds 9 on digging out levels. He'll have 5 at that point.
Yeah, I think probably correct, at least for 7 and 8.
Yeah, he might snag it out of 2.
Yeah, 2's going to be small enough where I think that's probably still clearable, but yeah, I agree otherwise. I would skip this room in a heartbeat.
Very affordable potions this seed at 29 for the blue and 56 for the red. I'm surprised Potato didn't pick one up.
Maybe just holding on to the money for now. Might actually want the bomb upgrade and might opt into just trying to find another take anyone for that potion. However, Nochi, our tracker, does suggest that there is a potion in inventory already, potentially.
Oh, interesting.
So may have
I
bought
didn't
one
see
at the
that.
potion shop. Yep, cycled through it, so we do have it.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. They've been through most of 5 without coming across a bomb upgrade, so it seems likely that there's 2 bomb upgrades in 7 this seed. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, I think that one of the old men has to be beyond this Triforce in 5, and I just don't think that the runners are going to go find it. I think they're both looking to get out of level 5 and keep moving fast, because again, you don't get the luxury that we do. We get to see both runners, they don't, so they may feel behind at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I'd say both of them are making pretty good progress.
Alright, we got both hearts out of 4, we got the Triforce out of 4, so both runners are done with that dungeon for this seed. I'm not sure if Crim is going to go directly to level 2, though. It is not in this, well, not in this neck of the woods.
Krim finding his magic sword. Both hearts are pretty high up, so it's possible, especially if they 7 or 8 Triforces required, that they might get into Mag's territory and be able to grab that. Be a big help against the Wizrobes.
Yep. The question will be whether or not they find it to be important to go back there at any point. Again, like, that could be a walk, or I guess you could flute to 4 and go down 1, so it maybe isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Both runners
Potato
now
getting
have...
his arrows.
Mhm.
Makes a lot of sense. Potato getting his arrows, that makes a lot of sense.
So outside of offense and defense, runners pretty much have the same setup going. I think a potion might also be a difference maker at the moment, but for how long, I don't know. Both runners now
Both of
grabbing
them buying
bombs.
Yeah.
I feel like
Potato
this is...
coming in for a second pack.
Yeah, I feel like this is gearing up for the Death Mountain dive at this point.
Mm-hmm. That would make perfect sense.
Crim is going to go up to check this spot first. But there is a flute spot down from here, so we'll see if we get that routing in of level 2.
Looks like Potato might be checking the river spots.
No dice on the first one, as we have a little bit of a lag here for Crim. Let's see if I can get it back.
Not on the second either. So it's starting to look a little bit like the raft could be potentially required. I don't know how many spots both runners still have to find, but there's 3 dungeons still missing. Potato buying even more bombs, using up almost all his money. And it's just a race right now to check out the bomb spots. Both of them have pretty much checked the candle spots, except I think you still have to check Candle Row, which Crims is doing right now.
Yep, we'll get them resynced up here momentarily once Crim gets these checks out of the way.
Okay. Pedantic finding 7. I didn't see where he found it though.
I believe that's like just south of the... Yeah, it's on Westium. It's just south of the first stair. I think that both runners will probably have the same strategy up here. There we go, level 9. That's what we want.
9. Excellent. 5 units.
So Crim, once they get there, will be able to go in. They're going to find level 2, however. And I'm going to go ahead and take the moment to sync him up, so give me a second.
Potato dipping into 7, probably because it's nearby. And he gets a second room Triforce. So he's probably going into 9, I would imagine, to look for the silvers.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
You know where the silvers are going to be now, though.
8.
7. Insta try. Insta try, you get to leave. Nope, you get to go back.
It could be deep in 8 and still be pretty bad.
Alright.
Since they haven't found 8 yet. Which would mean maybe the raft is required.
Yep, Chad will get the roar. I will get the roar. I'll let you know when the roar happens. But for now, it looks like a very, very tame enemy set.
Yeah, this should be somewhat of a Jet 9 as long as it's not too trolly.
Oh, we gotta take staircases. I think you take and see where both go, just so you eliminate 2 staircases at once.
Yeah, it could help you avoid clearing rooms out.
It's kind of good news, bad news for Crim. Gonna get the wand, which will help out a little bit in just speed in 9. But it's also going to take a little time to get there.
You don't
Now,
say no to the wand with this seed, though.
yeah, now this has a shutter door on the south, so this is either the map or this is the kidnap door.
How do you know that?
Well, the map has that, is the only thing that can be a drop item in a Triforce room like that. However, okay. Zelda's shutter door prohibits the map from spawning in that room.
Interesting.
It's the only time where you can have a... Like, there should always be a standing item in a Triforce room. That's a roar, by the way. Right here.
Oh, wow.
I believe to the right is the answer. No. Well, it might be the answer to the silvers in Zelda.
But he's not checking it. He's going to check the staircase maybe first or look for Ganon.
Yeah, trying to get into Ganon. Ganon is south, I'm pretty certain, based on that.
That's a transport stair. I'm very curious what that other staircase is. He's going to take this one for now, though.
Alright, now I hear Ganon from this side as well. So Ganon is to the right in this room. So
transport was not that much help.
Yeah, so now you got a bomb here, I think, which you will do, and no, we don't know how to get to Ganon, because, well, we know which direction we have to come from. We have to come from the south. It's the only way in.
Which means he's going to have to kind of take a pretty good walk.
Yeah, gonna have to find the way there, for sure.
Yep.
Now, is this going to be Zelda's shutter door? That's the other thing I'd be interested in seeing. Well, we have a book.
The book.
You have to take the book in this case.
You absolutely do, because he'll be able to find old man secrets in here that could tell him where Zelda is and the silvers.
Yeah, Pedantic doesn't have a ton of money, so the overworld hint shop, which I'm not sure if we've seen, would be difficult to work through. According to his tracker, he has one below the Death Armos, which I believe you mentioned near the start of the race.
Ooh.
And Crim,
living up to his name.
Yeah, Crim, I think, is in the room with the wand at this point. Gotta be real careful now, though. Oh, died but saw it. Might leave. And yeah, that's enough to leave, so... That's gonna be rough for a couple of the enemies in 9, the Patra specifically. But at least you have that knowledge, so you never have to really go back there. The other item is a banana.
Oh, that stinks.
I'm telling you right now, it's level 7. You watch.
It's 7 or 8.
And Pedantic's going straight back.
Like you do.
Well, you don't have information on 8's location yet, so you might as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing 8 is raft blocked.
Possibly. That would definitely put the raft in here. It would put a white sword and silvers in 8, so it's definitely a chance.
If 8 is raft blocked, then the raft has to be in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Which would still make it required.
It's segmented, too.
I don't like that segment. Very blocky 7.
I do like that segment if that's where this goes. It does not. Wow, Crim survives to see this cave. Pity heart. Won't do it. Oof, 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 oof. Barely safe.
With that.
We have another staircase here. This will certainly lead to the one off. Will it be a floor item over here? That would be wild. It's a key, so you can leave this from behind.
He's gonna farm. I don't know what he's doing. He's not. You know, I was gonna say you can't farm a bomb there. You don't need one.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to push them all away. A potion for Crim. That's definitely helpful. Although this is still scary. I don't know if I would have done that though.
Because one more heart container, he would have been in Mag's territory.
Oh, I'm not worried about Mags. I'm worried about death. I mean, this is that's what's painful. I almost would have taken the heart, but it doesn't save you from the Lionel screen. So you can flute to level 2 at least to get back close to there.
I mean, Crim knows he's not going to get the wand anywhere, so he needs the combat boost. Unless he finds Betty.
Yeah, the scary part here is I think that Crim actually needs to find level 8 first and have it be the answer to kind of get back into this.
Mm-hmm. I'm fairly convinced that 8 is Wrath blocked.
Maybe. But it's not guaranteed yet.
Does our tracker know if all the other spots have been checked?
Yeah, there's
6
good...
unchecked spots in Death Mountain. Okay.
At least in Western DM, Pedantic did not check any of the right spots. I think they came up from a different direction, perhaps. I'm not sure if Crim got to see any of those on the east. Unfortunately, Crim is going west, so I will basically be catching up to Pedantic here. Ooh, man. Almost died again there. Got really close to death.
Yeah, it's Zelda's summer home.
Okay, so Crim's going to get the health back. Will Crim stay in 7? No. Crim's going to do the same thing, which is going to, unfortunately, put him a little bit behind.
Potato's clearing out this room for a floor drop. Doesn't get one. That's a very trolly clock for Crim.
Oh, almost got the
grabbed.
monster. Heart on the floor, which we know is just the dungeon heart.
So he's going to be looking for a staircase now. That's a dead end. Heart and a half and a Patra to kill. He's got a potion. He'll go ahead and use it. No, not take any risks. I always get nervous when they don't scroll out of the potion after using it, and they just sit there with it, waiting to accidentally press B.
It's not as impactful here because Crim has has nothing really to combat with on that left button for now. I mean, the red candle's technically there, but
yeah,
it's not something you can use for this guy. And he's trying to clear it because he knows the same logic, I think, that the map has to basically be here unless it's Zelda's door. So you're going to get information either way. Oh, watch out from the left. Oh. Yeah, screen wrapping Patra there. If he's lucky, he got the one, but he did not. There's one that will stop the Expando Patra from expanding. He's killed a second one, but that's also not the right one. Silvers are 7.
Oh, very well played. The Potato's got the silvers.
Still not over because we don't have either route to Ganon or Zelda at this point.
No, but Potato's in good shape. He's right next to 9, too. He can just dip straight in there.
Oh, that was an unfortunate death there.
He did a lot of work to get to that point.
Yeah, the Patros, I think, rolled up a little bit, so that hurt. So, Pedantic is going to try and fight their way up, I believe, from here.
Yeah, he has a strong idea where Ganon is. He hasn't found Zelda yet.
The question is, how do you get to Ganon? Can we bomb our way there? Well, starting to look like you can at least get closer. So you have to bomb up here, and then you have to get 2 more rooms north.
Just got to be careful with resources. Very easy to burn through 4 bombs in level 9.
Okay, 1 more room north here, so we know we can get there now.
Oh, there's some bombs. Should be an easy fight against Ganon with the red ring.
Especially if he's in a non-moat room, and zone room, no less.
Ganon's in his room. So, we'll see if Potato can get the stun lock, which will save him a lot of trouble. Nope, not that time.
On the other side, in the meantime, we have Zelda's location. Not very far away from where PedanticPotato's at. So that's actually bad news for Crim, because it's a very easy route. Yeah, just a little bit slow on the additional stab from PedanticPotato. Could get the dance.
We know he has the potion, so if things go a little south here, we can get that. But that looks like a pretty good stun lock.
Yep. Got the speed back in there.
So he's just looking for shutter doors now.
He's going to go south a little bit, and then 1 to the right, I think.
Yep, that would make the most sense.
And I think that might be it. We'll see what side the shutter door's on. It's going to be 1 more south from here.
I always wonder why runners do that. They start spamming the silver. I know silver arrows mean nothing now, rupees mean nothing, but I would still use the wand in that room. Get your GGs out for PedanticPotato. He's saved the Princess Zelda.
Yep, the time is 1:01:49.
Pushing sub-hour there, almost. That was a fast seed. Let's see if Crim sticks it out. He's got a journey in 7 to do before he can get there, if he does.
I think he's going to at least try and get the items in 9, see if this was the right play, unless it takes death or something. At that point, who knows? It's just up to the runners, as always.
But if I was Crim after that, I'd dip back in find the item in 1. So he's going to probably check 1 before he goes to 7.
Hard to say. You're right next to 7, so it's kind of a what do you want to do first? You know what the enemy set is in 1.
He's looked through most of 1 too, though. And he can whistle to it. That was a good race.
Yeah, it was up in the air basically until the silvers were found. You felt like Pedantic maybe had a slight lead at that point, but definitely not something that was insurmountable.
I think Crim had the early lead for a while, though. That's a shame, though. I like watching Crim's runs. It would be a shame to not see him in the rest of the tournament. Yeah.
GG's, thank you.
GG, Potato.
I'm glad that level 9 spit me out so quickly.
It was a very kind 9.
Yeah. When I got there and saw the 5 Triforce thing, I was worried. Very worried.
Why is that?
Well, I had skipped all those Triforces, and I was like, oh, I gotta get in here as fast as I can. And then turned out level 7 was the key to everything, and it was right next to level 9.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn here, but I read this seed like a book when it gave you that try in 7.
I was convinced incorrectly that the Raph was going to be in 7 and the Silvers are going to be in 8.
Did we ever find 8? I didn't find 8.
Nope.
Nobody found 8.
It's got to be on Death Mountain based on process of elimination, but it's about all we know.
There's no other choice. It can't be Raft Block because it has the raft in it.
Good point. Good point.
Yep, and all you had left outside of raft spots, I think, was Death Mountain. I think Crim was not that far off either from that situation.
Yeah, I really found so many other things to do. I just never made it up to Death Mountain until the end there.
Now, this is the room Crim died in earlier. This is not an easy room without wand. Crim also died in the wand room to a fireball trying to get to it. So that slowed
Last
down
time
just a
Krim
bit.
was in there fighting the Patra, he used a potion too, I believe.
Gets the Roar of Ganon in that room, though. And we'll get the Roar of Ganon again after this. And now, gets to walk up into the Patra and run for his life. Only has one bomb left, so it's not even, I don't think, going to see the next room over that. Which I believe, wasn't that the book? Or am I misremembering?
Oh, that's a shame.
Let's see the patch. Oh, where are we? Oh, well, I was going to check my tracker, but
I think, I mean, I don't see it up on there at the moment, but it's, I want to say, like, that staircase basically takes you, you know, it's right next to the one that takes you back and forth between the two. I don't think you found another staircase item until you went back to start, almost. I feel like it was off kind of on the left somewhere, hiding.
according to this, my 2 staircase items are right next to one another. So if he goes to go to the right here. Yeah, so he's got to make it through this room to the right.
And then has to bomb right.
Yes. He may be able to bomb right here, I don't know.
I'm gonna clear this room for bombs, I would think.
Yeah, I had so much trouble with bombs early on, and then in the late game, they just were throwing themselves at me.
Crimson's had a tough time with bombs too, though. You guys were on the same page with that.
Oh, hey. We knew that already on his end.
If he goes back down, he's going to run right into the Patra. Yeah, that red ring was definitely helpful.
Yeah, Crim's taken a lot of deaths through some, not because he's bad at combat, but he's just been fighting things like Patras with 2 hearts. And it's been pretty rough for him. He's taken a lot of deaths as Seed. You had the wand early on too, which gave you a really good advantage, especially against the Dark Notes.
I was very happy when I found that. Very happy.
And that was terribly close to it. He got so close to it, it actually was on the screen with it, and he died before he could get to it, and won. And then he didn't go back in to dig it out again.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm. And then he didn't. And 2, I mean, to dig it out. And then 1, he bailed before he found the red ring. So those are pretty critical things to not have right now.
I'm pretty sure I could not have done 1 without the wand.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, he basically did not have knowledge of the bomb wall up, I guess, from the Triforce of the room after it, whichever one it was. So it slowed him. It slowed him down a little bit after the fact, for sure. It's gonna find the way to Ganon now. So has those 2 pieces.
Use up all his arrows on these Gibdos.
I always got plenty of those still. There'll be a bit of a problem here in another 80. Does not have the map, so we'll be bombing just by chance and not really by knowing where to go. Again, because that Patra guards it.
I feel like I'm starting to get a feel for how to bomb in this flag set. It seems like all the levels are always, I think someone else pointed this out, and it's accurate, is they're all vertical and spindly, so it seems like, you know, the way to bomb blindly is just to keep bombing up, or, you know, like kind of follow like an S-curve, so to speak.
Finds Ganon, and we'll try and bomb through. Unfortunately, there is no way to bomb through. The right wall does not lead to any room. Up and left are both solid.
He got bodied.
Yeah, it's not going to mean much at the end because he's been in the other two rooms.
And he knows where the princess is. So he has everything he needs except the silvers right now in this dungeon.
He's bemoaning the fact that he forgot about his controller breaking on him. I have none of those problems with my keyboard, although my keyboard is kind of falling apart, so I guess I do have those problems.
Well, they do make new controllers and keyboards.
Yeah, but it's just not the same, you know? You get so used to something, and then when it breaks, you're just really sad.
That is true. That is true.
So now that you're in the tournament moving forward, is there anybody you want to take on? Any mentor or rival that you want to best?
I mean, I know the side of the bracket I'm on, and my only route through is probably I don't know for sure, but it's probably through Caffey, and that's going to be a tough bar. Tough bar.
Yep, you get the winner of Caffey and Special Case / JJJ Shabato. So it's I don't know if you just root for Special K and hope not to get Caffey, hope he gets trolled or something, or if you just take the fight head on against Caffey.
Well, either Caffey or the person who beats Caffey is going to be a strong competitor, so I will show up next week either way. Do my best.
That's some clutch bombs for Prim right there. He really needed those. I would be going to kill that the Dongo to get some more bombs too, but he's going to dip out.
No, he forgot. Yeah, he forgot to check this staircase, and he's going to kill the Dodongo, and then he's going to realize that his silvers are in another castle, and with that, I would not be surprised at that point if it's just like a no thanks. I don't want to go find some Wizrobe dungeon that I could potentially be in, even if it wasn't.
Now you thought he might go to 7 next if he doesn't forfeit, and I was thinking he might go to 1 since he's got the knowledge of the dungeon pretty strongly.
Here is the boomerang. Here is the forfeit, as kind of expected. Which you're already defeated. You don't really feel like chasing it down. So we'll see it again here.
It was a valiant effort, though.
It seems like that wand may have made all the difference. Made
huge difference. The ring didn't hurt either. The Any key made for a pretty fast seed here as well. You both got it really early on. You got it a little bit faster than Crim did.
Yeah, that was a nice find.
You had it when you had 0 keys. Crim had managed to get 4 by the time he got it.
It sounds like Crim does not have a voice today, so probably has something similar to what I had a couple weeks back, which is unfortunate. But it's also because I get seasonal allergies, so maybe I got the luckier variant. Regardless, though, yeah, GG's out for Crim. Played fairly well despite not having either offense or defensive upgrade that his opponent had. Just hard to keep up with somebody that has a red ring and a wand, and I believe PedanticPotato really made use of those two items once they were acquired. I think that's where the time gap really started to gain some traction. That and maybe a few extra overworld deaths early kind of hurt a little, but those 2 or 3 minutes sometimes can be made up.
Yeah, great playing on both sides at a really rough enemy set. There were a lot of Patras. There were a lot of Dark Nuts and Wizrobes and mixed rooms of chaos and things like that. So it wasn't an easy seed for anybody. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to play through that.
Taking a look, I think most of the other matches are either at conclusion or in the process of concluding. So I don't think there's I don't think there's too much else to send you to. Yeah, there's a couple of TTP races going. So instead, I'll kind of look at tomorrow's schedule, which I believe starts with our tracker and Ochibado and Danny P Speed at 6 o'clock. Slamu and Spatter right after, like literally 15 minutes after. Then Random Effect and Thurwolf at 7. Jay Coper and Jam at 8. Kennedy and Sausage at 9. Bogey and DK at 9:30. Tabby and Para at 10. Truant and Bobino at 10 as well. And Sis Crusher and Mercs just a minute before midnight. So by my count, that's 9 more races, which means we're getting fairly close to the end of both the high rule and low rule round ones, I guess we can call them. Round of 64 for one, round of 32 for the other. I think we're down to like maybe 13 matches after that, with most of them on schedule already. So looks like we'll have a little bit of a busy Friday as well. With that, though, I guess we'll ask if there's any final thoughts from our race winner, Pedantic.
I'm just happy the stress of worrying about this race is over, and I get to enjoy watching those 9 matches tomorrow night. Don't know if I can watch them all at the same time. And looking forward to seeing my competitor next week. And thank you for tracking this and announcing it and restreaming it, all of you.
Thank you for putting on a great race and giving us a lot of entertainment.
Very welcome.
And once again, lots of races tomorrow. No channels as of this point assigned. But if we can get some channels and get some teams together, I'm sure we'll showcase as many of those as possible. But yeah, once again, thanks again to my co-commentator, Spirit Magic Helmet.
Thank you too.
And no Chibato on the tracking. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up here for this evening so that we can get some sleep in and get ready for yet another day of the 2025 winter tournament here, the Random Force tournament. So good night all, and maybe we'll see you around tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.